going on, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys are doing great. It's good to be here with all of you. Today is this new moon in Aquarius, and I think looking at the past week and how things have transformed and transpired, and there's been so many radical shifts and changes, and definitely with this Mars retrograde squaring Chiron, that's building even tighter. It's like a cutting away. There's been such an extreme cutting away effect in our lives and the collective, of course, with Aquarius and Uranus energy, and Uranus coming direct very soon. This has been shocking for a lot of people. And, you know, of course, with so much Pisces energy with this North Node and Venus and Neptune, you know, we're looking at a dual reality. And with Neptune and Pisces at the end here, that's going to be at 28 degrees here soon with the North Node. It's like, it's very clear that if you look at the collective, there's people living in one reality and there's people living on another reality. So with this new moon in Aquarius and Uranus coming direct after this new moon, this is a shocking effect for people. It's going to be very shocking. And this is the kickoff to Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And right before this new moon happens, okay, now we can see this is Mercury now at 2 degrees. So right before, just hours leading up to this new moon, Mercury makes its conjunction with Pluto. And of course, last week, we had the sun ingress into Aquarius and makes its conjunction with Pluto in Aquarius. So just within a week, we can see that the whole world has been completely shooken up by what's going on in the collective. And this is Aquarius. We're talking about the collective and how we're all connected. There's been massive disruptions in that. And Uranus is going to be coming direct very soon, which is the ruling planet. You know, so Uranus is dispositing Pluto, Mercury, and this new moon. So it's very revolutionary, and you know, we're seeing a lot of reaction and people speaking their minds. And I think how that's all going to affect us in the future here, because we have to look at the North Node in Pisces. We have to surrender to how these changes are taking shape in our lives. Like when we're talking about Pisces energy, we're talking about what's out of our control. And when we can surrender to that, and with this North Node, that's what we're being called to do. You know, we have to learn how to ride that wave. We have to learn how to surf when things just dissolve and it is no more. You know, we can't sit there asking questions why with this South Node in Virgo. We can't be caught up thinking about it or overthinking about why something is, you know, being called to be let go. I mean, and this is with the North Node, Neptune, and Venus. Venus is going to be here this weekend. So even looking at the relationships in our lives, you know, this is relationships dissolving, or ideas about relationships, right? Where we have this illusion about, or an idea that, you know, is revealed as an illusion about a relationship, or some creative or financial situation. You know, it's like, oh, it's all just going to come to me, right? That's very Pisces. And very Neptune. That's not really how it works. It's more of like things have to fall away for you to get to what actually is supposed to be. Because with Pisces energy, it's what it's supposed to be. It's divine. You know, people call it divine timing now. That's a common phrase. So looking at that, North Node with this new moon and all these planets, major planets, except Mars, which is by itself retrograde, just cutting shit away, right? And there's a lot of feeling, there's a lot of emotion backed behind Mars right now. Of, you know, things are personal. The things that you're pushing away and cutting away is from a very personal place, right? And a lot of emotion is triggered through whatever kind of conflict that we're experiencing, because there is conflict. And of course, with Uranian energy and Aquarius energy, it's like it's willing to push the buttons, right? It's like, all right, like even even if it's a button that you know what it does, right? It's like you understand the consequence. And I think Saturn's teaching us that too. It's like looking at the consequences of how our actions of just moving through these emotions without really looking at the actual logic or whatever the reality of the situation is, which is you look at the polarity point of where Mars is at, that would be Capricorn. So it's like looking at the reality. It's like, well, okay, well, why do I feel this way? Why am I acting out this way? Why am I just getting defensive, right? Mars in Cancer is bringing up a lot of those issues, and that's a building square with Chiron too, where there's still unhealed, undealt with trauma, that's connected to, our identity and our security, where we feel safe, where we feel connected to emotionally, the people we feel connected to emotionally, family, right? Those kinds of issues. And Uranus coming direct, it's like, this is where we can start to have sudden realizations and sudden insights where we can make shifts and make changes in our lives. But it can't be the same old pattern. It can't be the same old thing. Right? This isn't Capricorn world anymore. There's no Capricorn. This is all Aquarius, Pisces, dominant. Everything's over here, right? So we have to be looking outward. We can't be looking at the physical world to be giving us answers right now. This is all coming from an internal place, Aquarius, our own unique individual, idea, but also with this Pisces energy, this brings up our belief systems and the conflict of our belief systems. So this new moon is like kicking off this revolution, but also some sort of revolt, right? When we're looking at where all this Pisces energy is with Saturn, Neptune, Venus, and North Node, it's like the dual reality, people living on that one timeline and other people living on another timeline, and they are connected. Like the timelines are connected. The perspective and perception. This is one thing I've been saying so much, working with artists and in music, producing art, and working with young people. And it's crazy because this has been coming up a lot lately, the past couple weeks, and realizing a lot of things about perception and perspective, right? This is very North Node, South Node, Pisces, Virgo. This is very Pisces, Virgo. It's like your perception and your perspective, and what the difference is, right? This is dissolving our perception. This is dissolving our perspectives. This is new changes taking place in our reality that is triggering that. And these moments right now that we're going through with Uranus about to come direct and this new moon in Aquarius and Mercury, Pluto in Aquarius, this is the most uncomfortable possible energy we could possibly be moving through. But this is where the big changes happen. And this is where humanity alters course, the collective alters course, the collective awakens. We've seen more awakening, right? And it's like, here's the other side of this with all this Pisces energy. It's like the awakening isn't going to be this, age of Pisces idolization awakening, right? I think this new moon is helping us realize that it's like it's within us. Like the awakening is within us. It's not outside of us. It's not a person. It's not an idol, right? This is what this North Node is dissolving here with Neptune and Venus, or Venus North Node this weekend, dissolving, where, you see this in relationships with people where people idolize their partner. They put their partner on a pedestal and, you miss all the fucking baggage. You miss all the important shit, in the long run, right? So being critical is important, but being overly critical is going to lead to people really losing their minds. Because this new moon is just leading this way to some sort of whole new reality that we saw coming. We could feel that was coming, but it's like we didn't plan on it being actually this way, right? For the better. This is for the good. And this is, this is another line in the sand moment that we're not going back to. Like, all the Capricorn energy is completely gone. There's no planets here at all. So this is it. We've gone through 2008 to really this year, or last year, October, November. With Pluto making its way through Capricorn, and it really revealing how these old systems are serving no place for what the future is going to be. And now that we've gone through that, we've seen where the old system and the old structures are no longer going to serve any purpose for the future. It's like with this new moon, we could see very clearly what that is and what that means if you're paying attention, right? And this is where Jupiter is really saying, because this Jupiter square Saturn is not over yet. And it's not tight right now. Jupiter, Saturn is going to come out of shadow at 19 degrees. But still, it's like we still have to look at the facts. We still have to look at the truth. We still have to be objective. If we're getting caught up in all the Neptune, it's like, we're getting, it's this one person. He's changing everything. It's good. Oh my God, our Savior, our Lord and Savior. That ain't it. That's the trap right now. But what's underneath that is our divine purpose, and looking at that and looking at the, the facts of that, and where do we gather that? From our own reality. Cause and effect. It's simple. And that's what Jupiter is still trying to help us expand, even though it's not direct yet. But it's like remembering too. And when we look back to 2012, we could see like where we've come from that moment to now, what we've learned and what we've expanded, and what kind of knowledge we've acquired since then that's helping us now move through these radical times and these radical moments of, uncertainty, unexpected things happening every day. It's like every day you wake up, there's something new, I'm talking to this person, there's something new with this person, and, or some new opportunity coming in. I mean, there's more opportunity than we really see, right? But it's only going to reveal itself if it is from that divine place and where it's connected to your soul, And it is, of course, with the North Node, it's about destiny too. But that's more Capricorn. We've already gone through the acquisition of understanding and getting to the bottom and to the rubble with Pluto and Capricorn of really what that really means for us all. We've all gone through it. We're on the other side completely now. This is how you're going to use what we've built and what we've put in place to actually connect with the right people, connect with the right situations. With Jupiter and Gemini, look at reality objectively. Not get caught in the deception and the illusions with all this Pisces energy. There's so many arrows here, right? We don't want to get caught up in the deception. There is. There's two halves to Pisces here. And one half could be deceptive. The other half is very spiritual and, purposeful and divine and connected. But that also could take us to a place of confusion. And there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of mental illness stuff with this North Node shit coming up. It's going to be addressed more than ever. And you can see, just because of all the shit taking place in the world and how things have changed and the political scheme, people are losing their fucking minds, People are going on both ends. People going too far either way. And that's why things have taken place this way. Because people push too far. You push too far, you push the edges, right? And that's what Pisces is like, oh, there's no boundaries. I could just push as far as I want, right? And it's like, no, Saturn's like, well, yeah, it's good to test the boundaries, but Saturn's going to remind you where that exists, right? And these reminders and these lessons from Saturn are spiritual, And this new moon it's just opening the portal to not just what the next 30 days are going to be, or the next 15 days, to the next full moon. Like, this is the next 19 years with Pluto and Aquarius. This is the next 240, 50 years till we get to the next Saturn Capricorn, or Pluto Capricorn, Pluto Aquarius transit. That's how deep this goes, And of course, Pluto is our DNA. It's our ancestors. It's what we're connected to, who we're connected to. It's an Aquarius. Now it's literally like, who we're connected to on a deep level. So getting your message out at this moment, especially with this new moon, there's a lot of deep thought. I feel like a lot of deep, intense thoughts are coming up through this new moon. A lot of deep, intense emotions. The moon conjunct with Pluto before this new moon, and then conjunct with Mercury. So, not being afraid to go to those deep places, and of course, like, looking at things as a whole. This is what I was saying about, like, perception versus perspective. I've been having this conversation a lot with so many people in many different forms, not just in the spiritual world, but in the music world, and even applying that to just life and reality. It's like perception versus perspective. Perception comes from experience. Perspective just comes from what you've accepted, or the subconscious. Like, it's almost like a subconscious defense, right? You're just coming at things from your perception, attaching the feeling to it. But this is what Aquarius is all about, and this is Mercury in Aquarius, is looking at things as a whole. That's perception, is being able to look at things as a whole, from the outside, not attaching yourself to it. Gemini as well. This is why I would say, Mercury is like, Mercury to me is almost like an Aquarius is exalted. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never read that or seen it, but this is where the real genius and the real perspective and perception really where perspective starts to override perception in Aquarius. That's what it feels like. Because if you know Aquarius, you understand the Aquarius energy. It's just like, you can't be a scientist and be willing to experiment, because you don't know the outcome, right? You have to be comfortable with not knowing the outcome. So you have to be able to detach yourself from the feeling of that, right? In science, what we know about experiments that do go on in the science world and all that is a lot of fucked up shit, just to discover and want to know, right? But you can't have the perspective if, you can't dissolve your perception. I've been thinking about this a lot. So with this North Node, the South Node situation, that's going to be coming up a lot. And with this new moon, it's helping us gain perspective. I feel like that's really what this new moon is about. It's about gaining a greater, more in-depth perception, and not just coming at things from perspective. That's what it really feels like, how things have really been shaken up here in the past week. Just in a week. It's crazy. It's really wild to see. The whole TikTok thing, Uranus coming direct. I think shit like that, with technology and all that, there might be something that's going to shift with that. I don't know. I still can't even post on there. Not that I ever really used it. I'm just saying, everything with technology and AI and how that's taking place, Uranus coming direct here very soon. We're going to start to see some really intense developments with this new moon. We just saw China with the whole AI thing, using NVIDIA chips. It's like, wow, the whole situation. So Uranus coming direct in this new moon in Aquarius and Mercury crossing Pluto. I can bet you this weekend, this is when we're going to start to get answers and more clear understanding. The things that are taking shape in your life. If you're experiencing, stepping into new adventures, of course, right now, like with Mars retrograde, it's not as easy to get shit going and keep stuff, taking new adventures. This definitely is not the time to like, I'm going to just start this new thing. This is not the moment. This things that I've already connected, this is where the connections become more solid. And it's where the solder, really starts to mold in this moment. So perception versus perspective, that's been coming up a lot, and I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot through this nodal transit over the next 18 months. So anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful new moon. Go check out my website, alexskylesastrology.com. My 2025 readings are available, and my evolutionary astrology school is available on there. There were 12 slots. Now there's only 5. Get that shit ASAP. I'm super stoked to be doing one-on-ones with people. So that's going to be starting here in 2 weeks. Next week. The first classes. So go check that out. Have a great new moon, and I will see you all later. Peace out.